Sup, Rotten? So, the demand for the iPhone 16 Pro isn't doing so great compared to last year, and some people are speculating it's because Apple Intelligence isn't going to be released among the iPhone 16's launch, and more features are scheduled to be rolled out well into 2025. Yet, they already have ads released for it, which is like totally not going to be confusing for people or anything. But I think the real reason people are looking more at the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus is because of the colors. I think people are starting to get tired of the Pro color shenanigans. What's wrong with the iPhone Pro colors, right, Apple? You may be asking. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just came up with that. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's all in my head. I didn't eat it all this morning. You know what I realized recently? Most of Apple's products are either silver or some sort of darker shade. Boring. Believe it or not, Apple's past was rooted in quite the opposite. I mean, it was one of the main things to help it stand out against the dull, boring PCs at the time. It even reflected in the logo. I remember the first time I laid eyes on an iMac G3. My mind was blown. A computer that can actually look like that? But then I think back to the iPhone 11, where the Pro versions of iPhones have been introduced, and quite honestly, there's just a lot to be desired in terms of color and shade options. It's either you get the iPhone that looks visually way more interesting, or the iPhone that's more functionally capable. A spec bump and a better camera, or pink? Pink! I gotta say, this is by far one of the most diabolical practices I've ever seen. And all I can really wonder is, why, Apple? Why? Even the colors that the Pros have now are barely even colors considering how muted and desaturated they can be. The Pro mode typically does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of how vibrant it looks. But when you use it in real life, it sort of feels like a catfish, not gonna lie. Pro colors are just uninspiring by design, and it doesn't stop with their phones either. Think about the iPads or Macs. You can actively see with the iPad lineups that the color options get progressively worse the more you go up in price. The iPad starts off rich with color options, but pay a little more for the iPad Airs and Minis, and you'll start to notice the lack in saturation. And then with the Pros, there's no color whatsoever. The Apple Silicon iMacs was a breath of fresh air when they were released, because it was such a long time since we got colored Macs. However, they all come with the base model Apple Silicon chips. So if you need a more capable computer like a Mac Studio or MacBook Pro, you gotta choose gray or a darker gray. Oh, but MacBook Pros have an even darker gray now. Are you noticing a pattern here? Like, Apple, slow down. My serotonin levels can only take so much. But you know what I can never get enough of? Is ergonomics. As someone who sits at a desk the vast majority of the day, whether it's doing freelance editing work or working on videos on this channel, it's super important to have the proper support needed so I don't have to end the day with back and shoulder pain like I used to when I had a gamer chair back in the day. Never again. With its large enough cushion and support for up to 300 pounds, the quality of the FlexiSpot C7 ergonomic chair is something you'll never have to question. With its multiple adjustable capabilities and premium frame, the FlexiSpot C7 is a chair you would never have to worry about failing you. Its 10-year warranty and 30-day money-back guarantee certainly make sure of that. So if you're interested in a chair of this stature, feel free to check it out in the description below. And be sure to use my code C730 to enjoy a $30 discount, complete with a 30-day return policy and a 10-year warranty. Your back will thank you. Seriously, nothing boosts productivity more than a quality chair. And thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. So clearly, their color theory is like that by design. The more powerful the computer, the more dull it should look. Does Apple not think Pro users like colors too? Not every professional is a black and gray suit wearing businessman with a suitcase on their way to make the world a slightly worse place to live in, you know? Whether you work in art and design, or even doing something not creatively inspired at all, a Pro is a pro. And I get that people wear cases on their phones and get wraps and other accessories to make their devices stand out, but I think that shouldn't justify the lack of color options for much beefier tech. I mean, you're spending way more money after all. Would it hurt if my $2,000 computer had looked a little bit different from the next guy? What would you have to lose? Having said that, the one color that does stand out to me with the new iPhone 16 Pros is the Desert Titanium. It's not necessarily rotten looking, but it's close enough to speak to me. I appreciate the nod, Apple. Now how about sending me one of those beauties in the mail? Shout out to my Rotten Pro patrons, Vasco Franskobeck and Takazma, for supporting me on Patreon. Relevant links will be provided in the description below. What is a better approach you feel Apple should take to solve this issue? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of me, you know what to do. Hey yo, sometimes I really do just think about the iMac G3 and how much impact it had on society, you know? The Apple logo on our Macs don't even glow anymore. Like, sure, the Macs are more innovative than ever, but at what cost? I feel like a boomer.